My next guest has spent the last 35 years building a team, expanding his family business called Fazio Cleaners. And he also served as a reserve police officer with the LAPD after 30 years with the force. Retired, appointed to serve on the LA City Fire Commission under two mayors. Is the founding president of Sierra Canyon School, which now educates nearly 1,000 students every year, has one of the most diverse student bodies of any independent private school in the state. He's now running, probably against his better judgment, for State Senate District number 27, and that covers parts of Malibu, Agoura Hills, Calabasas, Westlake Village, large parts of the San Fernando Valley, and even into Ventura County, Simi Valley, and Thousand Oaks. He's been endorsed by the Howard Jarvis Taxpayer Association. Please welcome to the program Steve Fazio, candidate for State Senate District number 27. Steve, thank you very much for coming on.
Thank you for having me, Larry. I'm a big fan, and I really appreciate the opportunity. Yeah, as you suggested, to get right into it, basically I'm a business guy. That's sort of at my DNA, third generation in my family business. I bought out my dad in 1990. And over the last 5 or 6 years, it's just become so challenging with the regulatory environment that I can no longer express to my kids that this is something they should even consider in terms of going into small business in California, because we're just getting crushed with the policies that continue to come out of our state legislature. And concurrent to that, I had to come up with a way of sending my kids to a school that I felt confident that they'd get the education that I had in the public school system, 30 some odd years ago when it was still decent, and I couldn't find any public school alternative for them. So I ended up getting involved with the development of a private school. And then, as you say, I was a reserve with LAPD for 30 years, and I see some failures there in our state government as well in terms of now having a spike in violent crime of 20% because of the legislature, basically, having prisoners come out of the state system because they don't want to build more prisons. That's not politically correct. So they're dumping them into the county systems, and the county systems have no room. And, gee whiz, we end up with more crime as a result of having all these folks now back out in the streets in your neighborhoods. So the three things I've been involved with: business, and the things that you would hope your government does best, create a good business environment, which I would give them a fail on, creating a safe neighborhood and environment to bring your families up in and to conduct your business in. We're failing at that. And the regulatory environment is just, completely out of control at this point. So when the seat that I live in and grew up in and raised my family in came up as a result of the current office holder being termed out, I decided that the business community needed a voice in the state legislature, as did the public safety sector, as do, the folks that want to have an outcome-based system with regard to our students that are, failing and not graduating. 50% don't graduate now?
Right.
I mean, what a colossal waste of human potential that this state is now, participating in.
I'm talking to Steve Fazio. He's a Republican candidate for Senate District number 27. The incumbent, is the incumbent a Democrat or a Republican?
The incumbent is Fran Pavley, very much a Democrat, one of the most liberal Democrats in our state. Her issues have been in the lane of what you see with most of our liberal political folks, which is basically social welfare and global warming. And, I get that, but I look at that and say, what, we've covered it. We've got enough people that are working on that issue. It's time to work on some issues that relate to our schools, our public safety, and our business climate.
So you're trying to turn a seat from Democrat to Republican. I know that Democrats dominate the state Senate, they dominate the Assembly. What's the registration in your district, Republican versus Democrat?
The registration is +8 Democrat. It's 32% Republican, 40% Democrat, but the growing percentage is the declined state. And in addition to that, it's interesting to note that Meg Whitman won the district when she ran for governor. Carly Fiorina won the district when she ran for Senate, and Steve Cooley won the district pretty handily when he ran for Attorney General. So there's very much a pathway for a Republican to be victorious in the district, and I don't think the district's been well represented by the current office holder in terms of the actual values that we have within the district. I just think the power of incumbency and the money that's been thrown behind the incumbents has basically kept people in office that, maybe otherwise aren't really matching the values of the district.
So, Steve, explain to us how the race works. Will it be the top two finishers facing each other? Are you trying to become the Republican nominee versus a Democrat nominee? How does it work?
as the only Republican in the race at this time, then I would probably mathematically end up to be one of the top two vote getters. And since there is no other Republican in the race, I will be facing off against one of the 6 or 7 Democrat opponents, all of whom basically are not moderate. And I would have been very, by the way, happy to support a moderate Democrat, but there is not one running in this.
I don't think there's such thing. Steve, give us information on how people can contact you, get involved, make contributions.
I really appreciate that. SteveFazio.com is my website. Rather simple. I'm not that creative. SteveFazio.com. And there's additional information on the website as well as a mechanism to go ahead and make a contribution.
Steve, good luck, my friend.
Thank you so much.
You got it.